Top of the morning, lads and ladies. Support for the Off the Irish podcast is now brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below the waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels, and you no longer need the look of the Irish with the ladies. When I tell you this is premium, I mean premium. The battery will last up to 90 minutes, so you can take a longer shave. The third generation trimmer features a cutting edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents with their advanced skin safe technology pioneered by Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code IRISHPOD at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. And use the code IRISHPOD. Use the right tools and jobs to trim your pan potatoes. And welcome back. How's everyone getting on?
Doing good. So today we're joined by Sam Kwasman. Sam, how about you introduce yourself?
Hello, how are you, Rob? Blah, 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 I did not know it. How about that? I do, Baba. I got my Baba.
So, you're very well known for that iconic voice.
Yes,
Oh
I'm
my
Little
God.
Quacker for Tom and Jerry cartoons. I'm a baby duck on Tom and Jerry. We're in our 6th season. So
Yes, and you're doing very good with that. As I said before, you've got range as a voice actor. Oh my God.
well, you know what? I can do supercalifragilisticexpialidocious for you in Little Quacker Duck. Would you like to hear that?
I mean,
Yes,
sure.
please.
Sure.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, here we go. I gotta warm
Should
up
be
here.
good.
Oh, somebody got a flash, everybody's ready, goes. Happy God, now you got to roll, somebody goes. Somebody got a flash,
That is incredible.
Yeah,
My
that's
God.
impressive. Wow.
Gee,
Wow.
how did you train your voice to do that? That must have taken years.
Well, when I was a kid, I used to listen to all the Looney Tunes cartoons and Disney cartoons, and I used to imitate Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and, "Hey, are you following me?" and all those guys, and, "What's up, Doc?" and all that.
Mhm.
And one of them was Donald Duck. And I had a friend who I was about 13 or 14, and he could do Donald Duck. So I was watching him, and I was learning from him how to do Donald Duck. And I started doing it in junior high school and college. And I got a job dancing in a show called Disney on Parade. And I wound up as the voice of Donald Duck for it, doing it live, 14 shows a week, and promoting their show in radio and television. And so it started with just me screwing around and, just being funny and doing all these cartoon characters, like Porky Pig and, that's all, folks, that kind of thing. And so right now I'm doing the Roadrunner or Robot Chicken. And that's going to be funny. We just shot that.
Yeah.
And we did a bunch of voices for them. It's always fun to do that. I just did a Looney Tunes cartoon. So that'll be coming out next year.
Well,
And I'm in the 6th season of Tom and Jerry.
Geez, you're a busy man. You're a very busy man.
Yes.
Thankfully, we got you today.
Thank you.
But you've been doing this for a long time. Not specifically voice acting, but I suppose entertainment, acting, and so on.
Yes.
You're telling us since 1970?
Yeah, 1970. I started as a dancer in a Disney show, choreographed by Anna White, who won the Academy Award for Oliver.
Oh, wow.
And she did Music Man, Bye Bye Birdie, and I danced in the movie Mame for her. And she discovered me as a duck, for the Disney show. And then she had me do Mame for her with Lucille Ball. And she said to me, "Oh, this is Sam. I discovered him as Donald Duck, for the Disney show, and do Donald Duck for Lucy." So I did Donald Duck for Lucy, and she goes, "That's very good."
That must have been a bit awkward.
She was very serious on the set, and I did all the Mame number. We're jumping over hedges and everything, and I do the double attitude turns in the dirt. So I was an accomplished dancer, and but she would tell me stories, for some reason she was very nice to me. I mean, she's very nice anyway, but she was a very serious woman. She wasn't funny off stage. So I would ask her about the Three Stooges, and she'd say, bad props, they almost killed me. And apparently she had done a Three Stooges episode. And she was powdering her face with this very fine powder. And one of the Stooges turns on a fan, it goes into her face, all the fine powder. And she went like that, and went up into her throat, her nose. Or she said she was in the hospital for 3 days, and she kept blinking like this, and it was like sandpaper. She thought she was going to die.
Oh, Christ.
I don't think it's that bad.
So if you think about it, the Three Stooges could have killed Lucille Ball. This terrible thing to think, But she told me all kinds of stories. She was a lot of fun. She, during World War II, she had to have a filling in her tooth. And she was getting radio waves in her tooth. Now, if I hadn't heard this directly from Lucy, do you think anybody would believe this? She's driving around, and she's driving to the studio, MGM Studios, and she's picking up a radio station in German. And as she drives around, it gets louder and louder and louder. And so she calls the FBI or the police or something, and they drive around, and it gets louder and louder. And they find this apartment building next to MGM Studios, and they go up to the top floor, and they find a nest of Nazi spies spying on the MGM Studios. And it's all because she got the radio waves in her tooth. She told me that, yeah. And I thought that was incredible. But she was very serious about it. So she busted a bunch of Nazis, spying on MGM Studios.
That sounds like a terribly clickbaited YouTube title. My tooth helped discover Nazis, or
yeah. But it kind of freaks me out. Like that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
It's terrifying. It's amazing to see how far we've come, though.
Yeah.
From that dark time. But that's an amazing story.
Yeah. I mean,
I've heard people get radio stations from their fillings, like hear them, but that's pretty unique.
Yeah, that was very unique, and a lot of people, they find the story hard to believe. But I mean, she was very serious about it. Told it to me. She was very easy to talk to, and very sweet. And I was also. Bob Preston was at Robert Preston, the guy who was the star of The Music Man, was in the movie, and he was also very nice. And these guys are really highly disciplined actors, really terrific. Yeah. So it was a real privilege to work with them.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I suppose the industry's changed a lot since then.
Oh God.
Yes. Yeah, the industry's changed a lot since then. Like
definitely.
Acting has only been around for. Well, like TV acting or movie acting, whatever, on-screen acting has only been around for like 100 and something years. Yeah. And then you see the amount of actors nowadays. You could never talk to them all. We're trying. We're honest to God, we're trying. But there's a lot of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh well, the industry's changed so much. I mean, those guys came from the MGM Studios, and they were disciplined. They had to learn to sing and dance and act. And they had acting lessons and dancing lessons and coaching and all that stuff. And today, if you're on YouTube and, you do a funny dance and you pick up your shirt, you're an influencer or you're a star. So I don't get it. I thought you needed to train to learn, to learn your craft. And I know the Irish theater is terrific. The Irish theater is one of the greatest. They're just the greatest actors. You can see because they come over to the United States and they're stars here, and they're highly trained. In New York City, they have these great Irish plays that.
Our friend Michael Malamphy, he's in charge of. Is it like Irish only kind of thing going on in New York?
It's an Irish festival of actors or something. Yeah.
Oh, it's theater festival, whatever.
Yeah.
Theater festival. I butchered that, but he's from Cork in Ireland, and he moved over to the States, and he grew up around theater and so on. So
those guys are amazing actors. Amazing. It's an absolute privilege to see them work. They're just phenomenal. And so for some reason, Ireland and England, the guys are naturally born actors.
Act in the mic, as they say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose some people are kind of born for it, you know?
Hmm.
Some people are naturally dramatic. But yeah, what was it like for you training as an actor? You started off as a dancer, then became an actor, then
Yeah.
comedian, then voice actor, or whichever order.
Well, the thing is, I studied acting, singing, dancing, and I started at 8 years of age. And it's because my teachers in my elementary school kept telling my parents, put this kid in a studio, train him to be an actor, singer. That's all he does all damn day is, voices and jumping around and acting and dancing. So they put me in one of these singing, dancing, acting, baton twirling, hula dancing shows, because we're in LA. And and I started it at around 8, and then my first real professional job was at 11, doing "Have I Got a Girl for You," a play with these big stars, Mark Richmond, Ava Alderson, older actors, great actors. And then my real first real show was Disney on Parade, where I was an accomplished dancer. So my thing was to do musical comedy, but for some reason with Donald Duck, or the Duck, and the stand-up comedy, and I wound up as a ventriloquist, because I was told as a kid, as an actor, you should learn to do everything. So I learned ventriloquism, I learned cartoon voice, I learned to do voices, I learned to write comedy. And I actually am writing on Tom and Jerry. I submit them premises, ideas, and I've sold a few. So the thing is, in theater and acting, you should learn to do everything. And you should constantly be learning, because you never know where you're going to wind up.
I think that is a good point. Yeah, no, to diverse yourself in there. Don't be just one thing. It's good.
Yeah,
good point.
It's rare to be just one thing. And yet I have friends who do one thing. They're stand-up comics, they write jokes, and they have one character, and they're hugely successful. Whereas with me, I do all these different things, and some people just don't know what to do with me. They don't know what category to put me in. So it's good and it's bad. It's a two-edged sword.
Yeah. Well, I like the point you made. You have to always be learning. I suppose that's relative to every profession. Like you'd be very worried if your doctor stopped learning out of college, and they kind of gave up then. Or your builder stopped practicing laying bricks or whatever. But you have to practice in everything.
Well, you see actors who do these little theaters, and they're big names, and they do a little theater in the middle of the San Fernando Valley here or Los Angeles. Why? Because the play is a learning experience. They have to keep up their craft. It's about memory, and it's about, a challenge, to do something different.
Yeah.
And those are the great actors like Gary Oldman and people like that are just amazing.
Gary Oldman is a very, very good actor.
Yeah. And then Ed Asner, who is a good friend of mine. He's won 7 Emmys, and he's 91 now.
Oh, wow.
He's a phenomenal actor. Phenomenal. Still acting.
I was going to ask that. Wow.
Yeah.
That must be difficult.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, but it's your passion. It's not work. If you love what you do, it's not work, right?
Yeah. Well, that's exactly it, actually. Yeah. Have you ever hit any roadblocks in acting? The moments where you kind of regretted it or so on?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've done TV interviews that didn't go well. I've done a show where it wasn't well received. You get panned, but you can't listen to those people. You have to, keep going. Yeah. And that's the key. I mean, I've seen some of the biggest names in show business get panned and get, the higher up you go, the more people hate you. You always get that downside. Yeah, right? Especially with social media today.
Yeah.
Certainly.
People are very comfortable talking about things they dislike or people they dislike and have no thought to how that affects an individual.
Sometimes it's only like a competition of, well, I hate this person more than you. I hate this person the most. You know,
Yeah,
it's kind of weird.
Yeah, they've never met him. They don't know anything about them, but they saw him on a show that they didn't like, or they didn't like the guy, or the minute you get any kind of notoriety or any kind of fame, as minor as it might be, there's always somebody there that hates you just for that, or doesn't like you, or dislike you. I shouldn't say hate, but you get the idea. You get the idea.
Yeah.
Like you guys have a video podcast here. There's somebody out there going, well, how did they get that? How come I didn't get it? You know what I mean?
Oh, we know people hate us.
We've
You
had
don't
a
have to
couple
tell
of
us that,
those.
sir.
There's people out there who want my head in a spike, but
Yeah,
they didn't do it.
and what's to hate? What really? I mean, why waste your time hating something? You know, that you have nothing to do with. So,
a lot to be said about being happy, because it spreads like wildfire when it happens. Happy people make other people happy, but the same can be said with unhappy people.
Yeah, best to stay positive.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. But speaking of things that make people happy, you know, you did Robot Chicken for a long time, and I think you still do Robot Chicken, right?
Yeah, we just did one.
Yeah, I've been watching that for a long time, my whole life, and I've laughed my ass off more than once. So, what characters have you played in Robot Chicken, and how did you get into it?
Well, I have to say, a friend of mine recommended me because Seth was looking for somebody who could do a duck, and I wasn't doing it. Yeah, I wasn't doing anything at the time, I don't think, and so I auditioned, and I did send him in my years of Donald Duck. I have a little duck audio, 17 years of Donald Duck in 2.5 minutes. You can see it on my website, or hear it rather. You can hear it. And he said, yeah, that's great, but I need you to do the dialogue. So I went in and I auditioned, and I put down the dialogue on audio, and I sent it in, and he hired me. So our first thing was Mickey and Donald at a bar picking up chicks. And then we did one with Mickey Mouse and Goofy. Goofy is dating Clarabelle the cow.
Yes.
And Mickey doesn't like the fact that it's mixed marriage, you know. You know. So they have this meeting of the Mickey Mouse Club, and I, of course, have to agree with Mickey. And they have all these, you know, characters from the Disney shows, you know, and all that. And they're all like, you know, mixed up, you know. You know, there's the Lion King, and there's, what is it? Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast. Yeah. How do you fathom that that's a love story, you know? So we did that, and I did other things. We did Megan Fox, and I was one of the customers on that. We did a scene where Brian Austin Green, I go in and talk to Brian Austin Green, and I recognize him, and he's got a box store. And it's an interesting thing. I didn't really quite get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's it like working for Robot Chicken? Like, what's the production like?
Oh, it's fun. So much fun. You go in, and, you know, you're surrounded by all these name actors. Of course, with COVID now, you just go in by yourself. Nobody else is there. But the old days, you know, you'd run into somebody from Star Trek, or you'd run into some big name star actress, you know, that's in some age. I mean, Seth knows everybody, and they all do this show, all of them. It's amazing. The people he gets, Bryan Cranston, and, you know, was it Brent Spiner from, I met Brent Spiner from Star Trek, you know. Oh, wow. He was Data.
Yeah.
Great actor. And you're just sitting there going, wow, this is a dream come true. And then Seth had his 10th anniversary party, and we went to this beautiful, gorgeous hotel in downtown Los Angeles, and all the voice actors were there. Tara Strong, and all these people that work in Looney Tunes, and Wonder Woman, and you know, all those great cartoons on television. They're all there.
Tara Strong is a great voice actress. She's done so much for the voice acting community.
Yeah, Tara. And
I'll be honest, I don't know who that is.
Timmy Turner.
Educate me here.
Tara Strong?
Timmy Turner, Jared.
Oh yeah, she also did what'd she do? She did Avatar. She played Azula. There you go.
Yes, and I work with Gray Delisle. Gray Delisle, and she's the voice of Wonder Woman, and she's on Tom and Jerry as the housewife.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and she's just gorgeous, that woman. But she's an accomplished singer.
Yeah.
Then I still hang out with Debbie Derryberry. I'm dropping names here.
Funny.
Who's the boy genius, the cartoon character.
Jimmy Neutron. Love it.
God, what's his name? The boy genius.
Jimmy Neutron. Yeah.
Jimmy Neutron, yeah.
Yeah, Jimmy Neutron. Yeah. She's a doll. So
Yeah. It's amazing voice actors out there, yourself included.
well,
you had to be kind of shocked originally when he showed us the little duck voice.
yeah.
You see me and myself and Thomas before the show started, and the big smiles on our face, like, whoa, this is gonna be good.
But you understand what I said? You understand the words?
No.
Sort of. I got to about the first 10 words, and I was like,
yeah. I understood. I'm Sam Kwasman, and then after that it was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, people will come up to me and do the duck.
Oh.
They'll do the duck, and some of them are really rude about it. It's like, oh, I do it.
That's not
And
very
I go,
nice.
and you think to yourself, gee, which end did that come out of? Geez, that was.
So do you recognize this fairly often?
No, actually, no, and I'm happy about that. Yeah, because I can go shopping and nobody bothers me. They
That's
have no
good.
idea.
Like,
Yeah.
it's nice every now and then someone's like, oh, hey, you're Sam Kwasman, nice to meet you. But, if you're at like the Tom Cruise level where you have to get people to do stuff for you because it's that bad, I wouldn't like to live that life.
No.
That'd be tough. I mean, it's such a two-edged sword now, and with the social media being so negative, there's a lot of negativity out there. To be a star today, you got to have a real thick skin. I think it's worse today than it ever was.
Yeah.
Like even you guys, I'm sure you're celebrities where you are, and you get your share of hate or whatever it is. I keep talking about it. I shouldn't be talking.
No, Sam, you're correct in saying this. I mean, I get bombarded at the store every day I go there. People come up to me. You're that guy from that thing. Yeah, it's a tough life for me. I've never been.
We used to have a third host, and he got recognized a couple times. People have recognized Thomas through his dad, but I've never had anyone recognize it from the show.
No.
I suppose if you're listening, you don't really so.
A lot of our audience
we
is
do
actually from the US.
Video and audio version.
Oh, a lot of your audience is from the United States.
A large percentage.
56%, and only 11% is Irish. Yeah.
Mm.
So the majority of our audience is from the US.
That's
Yeah.
good to have it.
It's not bad.
Wow.
See, that's what they say. If you want to do it well, you need to break into the US market.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah, you guys.
Especially if you're
do
Irish, because
well
they seem
with
to love us.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, it's no joke,
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know why we're talking about it, but basically it's much easier for me to go out shopping. Nobody knows who I am. So it's great,
Yeah.
Although many years ago I don't know if you guys know the Bob Newhart show. It was many years ago.
Yeah,
And he played a psychiatrist.
Bob?
You know it? Do you know it?
Unfortunately. It was 1977.
Yeah.
So I wasn't born.
And Bob Conan O'Brien, you know Conan, right?
Yeah, we know Conan.
Yeah, I mean, he's an O'Brien. You got to know him. Well, Bob Newhart's a very famous comedian actor out here, and has been in movies and television for decades. And he turned 90, and they did a retrospective of all his shows. And they ask all these celebrities, what'd you like about Bob Newhart? What was particular? So Conan mentions this episode that I was in, where I played a ventriloquist and Bob was a psychiatrist. It was a sitcom. And he said, I was a kid and I saw this and I was so funny, I wanted to be a comedian. So I'm partially responsible for Conan O'Brien's career. So, but I really think he was talking about Bob. But he sends everybody to my...
Say
Say again? I didn't hear you.
we have you to thank.
Yes, you have me to thank. Yeah, I don't know if it's good or
You hear me
bad,
that
but
time?
huh?
I mean,
I can't hear you.
you don't
I
take
think there's a
full
bit
responsibility,
of a
but you
delay
still
on
take
my
the check.
end.
Yeah, I can't take full responsibility, but he keeps sending everybody to my YouTube site to watch this episode of Bob Newhart.
Oh.
So if you get a chance, you can watch it. It's very funny. And it was nominated for an Emmy, and I was going to be semi-regular on the series, but Bob quit. So here I am, doing a duck.
I suppose it's one way to do it.
Yeah, there you go.
And what's it been like for you as a comedian?
Well, stand-up was very good. I mean, you could make a living doing stand-up, but the problem was you had to go all over the country. You have to fly everywhere, drive everywhere to, do these gigs. And it's fun, but, if you want to be on television, you got to be in LA. I mean, you got to be where you can audition. So I got off the road. And I do play Reno, Tahoe, and Vegas every so often. Once a year or twice a year, I'll play Vegas, because it's not that far. And it's 1 week away. It's like a vacation. So that's fun to do.
Yeah. Vegas is, some people consider it the embodiment of hell, and some people think it's about it.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up, so I couldn't hear your question.
Okay, what's wrong with my internet?
No idea what's wrong
Take the
with yours.
show.
Pretty sure he asked something about what's been your experience with Vegas? Has it been positive or negative? Because people have very different experiences when they go there. Some people come out rich, some people come out with wives. It's
Well, I play the Laugh Factory in Vegas at the Tropicana Hotel, and it's always a great experience. If you're up on that stage, people come there to have a good time, and it's Vegas, and so they're there to have fun. So you really can't have a bad audience if you have material and you can connect with the audience. And you learn a lot in stand-up comedy. You learn timing, you learn how to write a joke, you learn how to set things up, you know how to work with an audience. It's really a great experience. And again, it's a craft where if you don't do it, you kind of lose it a little. It takes you about a week or two to get into it again, where you have all your little nuances and things that you need to put a joke over. And I think that's why the biggest comedians out there who don't have to work anymore, they do it anyway, because it's a craft and it's a passion. It's something they love to do. So, and it's all part of showbiz. It's all theater. So that's my thing,
Yeah.
Learn everything, right?
Yeah, that's your whole shebang at the moment, or for your entire career so far has been learn everything.
Yeah.
Is my Wi-Fi fixed? Is my connection better?
Yes.
Much better. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Perfect.
Yeah, like I do jokes about my dad and about being a single guy. I went to one of these singles dances, 40 to 60 plus, only the plus showed up. I ordered a glass of water, somebody's teeth were in it. They were my teeth, I forgot. Jokes like that. Or my dad lived to be 102, that's the truth. He's 102. And we lost him last year.
Sorry to hear.
And yeah. Well, he's still alive. We just don't know where he is. They wander off at that age. So.
Yeah,
Jared, man, you walk right into that, you fucking idiot.
I'm about 10 shades of red underneath this picture. Oh my god.
Yeah.
This is why I love having comedians on this show.
Yeah.
God damn it.
So those are things you learn to do. You learn to write jokes and all that. And I do all my cartoon voices and it's a lot of fun. I'm still dancing professionally. I'm currently the male stripper at the Jewish Home for the Aged. And it's a great job. You come back the next day, they think you're the new guy. So. But instead of putting dollar bills in your Speedo, they put quarters, the old people, See, after 25 quarters, after 25 quarters, your crotch hits the ground and you're dragging it around, and then they think you're a one-armed bandit, Slop. Ouch.
Oh my God. That's not what I was expecting, I'll be honest.
My apologies.
Oh no.
God,
Well,
please
my
don't
thanks.
apologize.
My thanks. So, how long have you been a comedian?
Oh God, since the 70s, 1975. I started at the Comedy Store. My name's on the wall. I worked with Letterman and Leno and all those guys.
Wow.
Michael Keaton was a comic there, a stand-up comic. Brilliant, brilliant man. What an actor, phenomenal actor. You know, some people are just naturally gifted. He's one of those guys.
And,
Yeah.
You know,
what's your opinion then on like you know, political correctness and, you know, having censoring comedians and all that kind of?
well, it hurts. It hurts comedy. If you see Blazing Saddles, the movie, you can't do that today. And yet it's considered one of the funniest movies of all time, comedies of all time. Why? Because a joke, a punchline on a joke, somebody has to be the butt of the joke. I mean, how are you going to write a joke unless there's, you know, some kind of a, you know, somebody has to take the fall.
Yeah, like I took the fall in that one about your dad. And look, I'm not in uproar. That was hilarious.
Well, you know, I usually do self-deprecating humor because I'm the butt of the joke. And that way I don't offend anybody, you know, and I don't hurt anybody's feelings.
It's a smart way to adapt.
Right. You know, like I wrote jokes about Disneyland. You know, they'll never open up a Disneyland in the Middle East. Can you imagine Disneyland in the Middle East? Oh, come on, honey. Let's go on the Hostages of the Caribbean ride. Come on, you know? Yeah. Oh, look, there's little Muhammad in the Little Muslim. Speak to me, Mookie. Like, what'd you do to his voice? What, you know? Go on the puppet ride and here it's a third world after all, you know? Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's a third world after all. It's everybody out. Everybody out now, quick. That'd be a tough ride, wouldn't it? At Disneyland in the Middle East.
It would certainly be a tough ride. Oh my God. See, like, it's a shock value that I love because, like, since like when you were back in the 70s, you were able to say stuff like that. But like our entire upbringing has been about political correctness and inclusion. So, you know, when someone says something like that, we're kind of like, you kind of like judge the room like, okay, is everyone laughing or is everyone, you know?
Yeah. Well, look at the talk shows, the American talk shows. They do a lot of political humor and, you know, they're really scathing because they have, you know, you got to make your point. And the best way to do it is through humor, I think. Definitely. And yeah, like I did this one about Disneyland, the Middle East, Disneyland in France. What's that? The rudest place on earth? Disneyland in France, you know? You've got Snow White, you know, with hairy armpits and unshaven legs. And you got the dwarfs, drunky, alky, toothless, you know? And
I hate to hear your stuff on Ireland.
Yeah, no, I would not
I'd
do
love
Ireland.
to see it.
I love Ireland. I wouldn't touch it. But Disneyland, you know, instead, you know, over here we have Splash Mountain, and in Disneyland in France they have the bidet. Yeah, no way am I getting on Douche Mountain. No way. So.
Oh my God.
Yes, and I love France. Yeah, I'm just. But see, like I said, you got to have something has to be the butt of the joke. So.
Yeah. It's kind of how good comedy goes off. Remember that thing with United Airlines where some guy got beaten up and got his seat taken off him?
Yeah.
We had a friend, Paul Roseberry, did a piece on that. And he got a bit. The initial audience laughed, but then when they got onto YouTube, people were not very happy at all.
Oh, really?
And especially looking back on it years later, people for some reason were angrier now. But yeah, it feels like we're in a very angry world when it comes to comedians. I'd be terrified to be one.
Yeah, it just depends.
That joke you made 20 years ago, and then someone finds it and is like, let's destroy this guy's career.
That's very possible. That you got to be careful what you say, and you got to be careful. I think in today's market, you just have to be likable. If people like you, I think that's half the battle. So I've met people with tons of talent and they're amazing, but the audience doesn't buy them for some reason or another, right? And then there are other people who have a modicum of talent maybe, or just don't really do much, and the audience loves them. So there's some kind of thing about likability.
It must be nice to be the ones that have very little talent. Everyone loves them. I'd like to be those people. Probably pretty easy.
I think that's pretty prevalent with like social media, how people with no personalities,
like our favorite fighter from last night, Jake Paul,
how they get these big, massive platforms simply because they know how to market themselves. They know the right things to say that give them attention. Yeah. And then you have people that so much more deserving of a platform of millions of followers that just.
Well, I don't think people who have who aren't that good, they don't last that long. I don't think. I really don't. Very few I know of that would really last a long time.
Good people, likable people, like you were saying. Like The Rock is never going to go away. No one is ever going to say, I don't like The Rock, and stick to it, you know?
Yes.
But I don't know, someone like, there's a bit of controversy on Charlie Sheen, so people don't like him anymore. I don't think people will like him again, unless he does something major.
Yeah, I don't know. Charlie's, I don't know anything about him, but it's a tough business. Yeah, it's a tough business, and you just got to do what you got to do, and you hope people like you for what you do.
Yeah.
So,
but when you play a memorable little duck, things are pretty likable.
Yeah. He's very innocent and he's very cute, and I love doing this little duck. And 25 years after I'd done Donald Duck, the executive producer called me up and said, "You still do a good duck?" I go, "Yeah, who are you?" And he was an animator at Disney and opened up his own business and, requested me. So, and even for that little duck, they auditioned like 3,000 actors for that little duck. Yeah. So competition's pretty tough, you know?
Oh, yeah. It's tougher than ever to get an acting job in the US, especially. Like, you're up against so many talented people the whole time. And a lot of it, it's a lot of rejection.
Ton of talent.
Oh, massive talent. Yeah. It's amazing.
A lot of competition. But look, here you are. You're doing pretty well. I don't think there's any chance of slowing you down anytime soon, because you're still making stuff. You're still voice acting. You're still acting. And I'm assuming you're still doing comedy.
Yep. Well, with COVID, there's no place to play. So.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of COVID, you were saying that there's going to be a lockdown in your area soon.
Yeah, Monday they're locking down Los Angeles. So from what I understand, it's going to be pretty tough here, you know. And hopefully the vaccine will come out soon. I think late December, and you might see an end to this eventually. I hope so. You know.
Yeah. Oh, you're hoping.
I can't wait.
After we did our final exams for the Leaving Cert here, which is like our last thing before college here, I've been trying to plan something to go off with the girlfriend and we'll go on a little holiday. Well, now we have to settle for a staycation. And even at that, you could be waiting 3 or 4 months until it's safe to do so again, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'll try to drive up the coast here. I can't stop anywhere. I have to go home. I mean, well, you can stop by the beach, but the beach was crowded. And, you don't want to be around people at this point. So,
definitely not, yeah.
Yeah. I imagine, how do you go on these dating sites and meet people? I mean, what do you do? I mean,
Should you do an old Zoom call like ourselves? Oh, you're doing a Zoom for an hour. I'm going to go make spaghetti and eat it in front of you. How's that sound?
That's a romantic dinner. Romantic dinner on Zoom. Yeah.
Both if you get takeaway. Now, we can make this a business, lads. You get like a takeaway service like Uber Eats. And what they do is both of you order food and it comes at the same time. And then you do the video call and there's your date.
That's your date.
$1 idea. You're welcome, guys.
Thank you. Social distancing dating. Yeah, that works.
Oh God, it works until this time next year.
And then we go bankrupt and we sell for, I don't know.
Yeah.
What's...
We sell the stock at like 20 cents per piece. Like.
Oh, I want to let you know I'm in a movie called Letters from a Nut, produced by Jerry Seinfeld, written by the great Barry Martyr, who wrote the books Letters from a Nut. I don't know if you've read them. They're hilarious. There's these letters that he sends out to corporations, and the corporations don't know if they're being tested by the big wigs of the company or the guy's an actual nut. And we did the play and we did the movie, and I can't thank Barry enough for that. And he also got me on.
It's called Letters from a Nut, yeah?
Yeah, produced by Jerry Seinfeld.
I must check that out now.
Yeah. Letters from a Nut. The books are hilarious. The movie's hilarious. Barry's hilarious. He stars in the movie, and we did the play at the Geffen Theater here, and I play a depressed clown, which is typecasting, you know. So and I have to say Barry's just brilliant, you know, brilliant writer and comedian, and you'll love this. The letters are like, they go to like you know, the companies, like he'll write a hotel and say, you know, listen, I'm allergic to your ice machine, and I need to bring my own ice machine. And the company will write them back and say, oh, yeah, bring your ice machine. Yes, of course, we'll accommodate you any way we can. So then he'll write back and say, well, it weighs 2,000 pounds, and I need a forklift to get it in the room, you know? Or he'll write to Amsterdam and say he's going to do the history of Amsterdam with his hamsters and call it Hamsterdam. And he's got 500 hamsters in the room, you know? And they're writing him back, trying to accommodate him because they don't know.
Oh, I must check this. What's his name? Drew. Who wrote the book?
Barry Martyr. Barry Martyr. M-A-R-D-E-R. Barry Martyr. Letters from a Nut. You'll laugh so hard at these books. And
I love
the
it
movie's
already.
great. Yeah, check out the movie.
Yeah, well, it's 2,000 pounds. I need a forklift to get into Rome. Well, the hamsters, it's about 500 of them. And the businesses are like, yeah.
Yeah, come on in, you know.
It's kind of like that thing,
you
if
know,
you don't ask, you don't get, but to the extreme.
Yeah. Or he'll write to China and say, listen, you know, we need fatty Batman costumes for 600-pound people. We need 10,000 of them, you know. And if we want to go to China and look at your factory, can you get us? Can you get there? There's this. Yeah, seriously. And they write it back. Yes, we can accommodate you. We can give you 10,000 fatty Batman costumes, you know. And he says, and then he'll mention some Chinese takeout place here, you know, and they'll write back and say, what is that? We never heard of that, because it's an American Chinese takeout place, you know. It's hilarious books. So something for you to read.
That sounds amazing.
Read and go see the movie, Letters from a Nut.
Well, I'll tell you now, you're certainly selling this. Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah.
It just sounds amazing. Like, Letter from a Nut, that's a perfect title for it. But the worst thing is for people out there who have made these kind of stupid requests to businesses before.
Yeah, stupid requests, but they're funny. They're like, so funny.
Going to a sushi place, bringing your own fish.
Right. Yeah, they keep writing back and forth. You know, listen, we want lunch. You know, want to serve us lunch. We like Panda Express. Well, Panda Express is an American Chinese, you know, takeout place. They never heard of it in China, so they write back and go, "We don't have that. We don't know what you're talking about." So. And it would go back and forth. I mean, it's hilarious stuff. So, yeah, check it out.
Certainly
it's on Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime.
Actually, I just got Amazon Prime recently.
And I'm actually mooching off it. So yeah, that sounds like something we're gonna do.
My Wi-Fi company is very generous. I switched over because I was at one of the most expensive ones in Ireland, which says a lot. And then I got something that was half the price, twice the speed. No, actually, wrong. It was 10 times the speed in terms of uploading, and it was even higher in terms of downloading. So, perfect for what we do.
Wow. Wow.
And they threw in Apple TV, Netflix, and Amazon Prime.
Oh wow.
What a deal!
Wow.
What a deal! What a steal!
What a deal! Such a deal! Such a deal! Oh
Yeah.
my goodness gracious! Well, that's great. That's great because I'm on Boomerang with Tom and Jerry cartoons, and Robot Chicken's on Cartoon Network, and Looney Tunes is on Boomerang. So you can see that. Okay. And Letters from a Nut, Amazon Prime, produced by Jerry.
Yeah.
Comedians in Cars. Yeah, I did Comedians in Cars as his product placement guy, and that's on my website. So
yeah.
What else on? You on Instagram, Twitter?
I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I'm just about everywhere. You know.
You got a Cameo?
But if you go to my website and you can see all this stuff. samk3000.com, SAMKAY 3000.com, and that's me.
Well, Sam, I want to thank you first for coming on. You've been a great guest.
Yeah, especially and lay it out. Admit it's like we were an hour late to get into you.
And
We messed up a schedule on something awful.
Oh, that's fine. It happens.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, go on, sorry.
I was just going to say, I'm thrilled to meet you guys. It's wonderful to be interviewed in Ireland. You know, I'd love to visit.
Yeah, you said before you don't have any Irish ancestry, which is unique. You went out with Irish women. That's enough of a connection to come here. But everyone already has an Irish grandmother. So, and I mean everyone.
Yeah, beautiful
I have
Irish women. Irish women, the most beautiful women in the world.
He's
Just
telling the
beautiful.
truth. He's telling the truth.
Yes, absolutely.
So you're also on Cameo, aren't you?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm on Cameo, yes. And I give out birthday greetings in duck.
I love it. So
Yeah.
if you want to find him, you know where to find him. You can find him on his website. You can find him on Cameo. Also, you have an Instagram account that you're fairly active on.
Yeah. I don't know the. I guess it's just Sam Kwasman, KWASM. You can find me on there.
You'll find him. Sam Kwasman and everything. So
Yeah.
hopefully everyone enjoyed this episode. Hopefully at the start you got a bit of a shock with the voice. And that's just done. Thanks for listening or watching.
Oh, thank you very much. Oh, boy, oh, boy, boy.
Take it handy.